nobody's banned anything yet, so it's a concern that there's going to be some sort of... Alright, there's the ban. Alright, so let's go ahead and start the cast for game number 2, shall we? Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 between Complexity and Cloud9. Complexity, obviously, one game up after what was a pretty convincing victory there, both in draft and execution. Welcome in Clairvoyance, who's going to be my co-caster for this game and maybe the rest of the series. We'll see if Cloud9 can actually even it up to a 1-1 and push it to a game 3, because this is their life in the MLG Qualifier for the World Finals. If they can win this, whoever wins this will move on to the Grand Finals, which is a best of 5 to face up against the winner of Digital Chaos and... oh, looks like the other opponent hasn't actually been decided yet, because Fire and the High Council of Wizards and Priests have yet to play yet. So...
Yep, good matches between the tier 2 teams all around, and hopefully the one that surges up at the top may break themselves into tier 1. We have yet to see Fire perform at the ESL New York yet, but you and I were there to witness their latest performances, so I think they have a lot more hopes in them now, a lot of people with more faith in them now. But in terms of keeping your shot alive, you know, Cloud9, what better to do it than a bounty hunter first pick?
In your experience, Claire, who do you really think is... Because I feel like there's this sort of all over the place, like Cloud9 beating Digital Chaos, and then Digital Chaos beating Cloud9. Then you have Fire actually making it all the way through the ESL 1 qualifier. Who do you think of these, like, kind of tier 2 American teams is the best right now?
Who comes out on top, huh?
Yeah.
It's a hard question. I would say it's still in its initial phases.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the major qualifiers will determine everything, because that's pretty much all that matters for the time being. But I would say, I can say for certain that Cloud9 not looking as dominant as they did. You know, they obviously had that 5-0 series against DC.
Yep.
But mind you, the next 2 times they played, the next 2 games, they lost both games, where Cloud9 just, where DC just banned Anti-Mage first phase and picked Storm both games.
Yep.
You know, I'm not trying to criticize the team and blame them. I think they're strong in their own merits, but I think they have this one playstyle that they've created to themselves where it almost feels like they're kind of one-dimensional. I haven't really seen success from them when Ritsu doesn't have a split pushing hero that can just effectively go around the map and just force enemies back to their tower. And I feel like they're very reliant on that, their carry player, to get their vision, to apply their pressure, which is why these lineups, I feel like with the Slark, they have these 4 defensive heroes or semi-defensive heroes and Slark, and I'm not sure if it works. It doesn't play to their strengths, if you know what I mean. And
yeah.
And coL, I think they have a really good setup right now for global presence. So I'm not sure if the whole split pushing style will work either, but we can see in due time. I mean, it is game 2. They do have a bounty hunter.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting opening. I mean, the bounty hunter was the first pick for Cloud9. That's always dangerous to leave in the pool, but Complexity respond with this, as you said, global presence, which is a good way to deal with the bounty hunter, right? Like the Spirit Breaker, first of all, I feel is like
one of the hardest counters, man.
Yeah, and then you've got the potential of the Wisp relocate in. To really make sure that these, like, supposedly, like, pickoffs that were supposed to go your way turn against you because of this, you know, swift turnaround of basic numbers. But is this specifically against Cloud9 and Bounty Hunter that the Wisp is valuable to pick up in the first 1-2, but not necessarily pair it with anything?
Honestly, the Wisp pick could have definitely come out later, because Cloud9 in my head would never ban the Wisp, at least at this point in the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's just one of those picks where you just say, okay, I'm just going to pick this, and this is the cards I want to show because I want to keep my other options flexible and open.
10 seconds.
And yeah, I think that's all there is to it. Because if you know, if you've seen coL's games, like, coL have a very good Wisp. Like, they play around the Wisp very well. They're an experienced team with Wisp. They have an experienced Wisp player. And like, they just, like, overall, they're a team that moves well around the map, I think. Applies pressure well as a team, more than individuals. And Wisp complements that playstyle at any given patch.
Complexity. None of the obvious, like, Wisp coupling heroes were banned away. Obviously, the Wisp can What do you think with Spirit Breaker as a dual offlane? Does that actually work? As we've seen in the past, Wisp working with certain offlaners, such as the most obvious one being Bristleback. They've also seen Legion Commander. Okay, we're not going to see that with the
yeah. That question no longer exists.
Yeah,
we see
exactly.
Wisp partner now. Yep. But I mean, just to go back to it anyway, I think Wisp can actually work with any hero because once you get level 3, you're super strong with the spirits. It does a huge amount of damage. And once you just ball in from 2,000 range that nobody expects, and it's kind of like a Fisher, but it doesn't stun, of course, but it does a lot of damage. So it can really work in a dueling with any hero, but it works primarily best with Tiny.
Yeah.
Not really much else to say about it. Tiny is probably Wisp's best partner overall, like in the game of Dota. And Complexity have it here.
They do have the opportunity to get some pretty big counters to the Tiny Wisp as well. Winter Wyvern is still in the pool. There's a Disruptor as well. What cores do you really look for in a matchup against Tiny Wisp?
It's kind of a rough one, actually. I don't have too many heroes that in my head like come up right away when I see Tiny Wisp, other than heroes like Winter Wyvern, Disruptor. These heroes that can kind of fight the relocate. But it's always difficult, I think, because Tiny Wisp, they have a lot of options between the two heroes. They have a lot of not DOT, but like a lot of instances of damage. So for example, heroes like Templar kind of don't do that well. Then they have the ability to just be mobile and having like a one burst combo potential with Tiny Toss, Avalanche, and yeah, Wyvern gets picked up. But I'm sure Complexity didn't ban it because they just wanted to apply early game pressure. And Wyvern's definitely one of those heroes that are susceptible to early game pressure.
All right. Waiting on.
Storm is actually good against Tiny Wisp, I think, but C9 decided to ban it for themselves.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Complexity. Spirit Breaker, Tiny Wisp mid. They still have their dual lane.
I don't know if it's actually Tiny Wisp mid. Swindle plays mid exclusively, from what I know. He never does goes safe lane on the co-op kind of thing when he has these kind of lineups. So it might actually just be Ziz on the safe lane with Wisp just hovering between the lanes, like maybe mid and top, maybe all 3 lanes. I don't know for sure, but
okay.
Yeah, depends on the runes, of course.
Yeah, and there's always opportunities for Cloud9 to do we've seen like Bristleback mid or something like that has been run.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. Then again, like if you look at their lineup, right, like if they have Bristleback, Ember Spirit, Bounty Hunter, I don't know, man. These heroes could either take it super late or they could just crumble in an instant. And the thing with mid lane with Bounty Hunter is that you really want a hero that can apply some sort of pressure. I feel like Bristle against Tiny Wisp, if it were Tiny Wisp, it definitely does apply pressure because you can't kill it. Again, I'm not sure if Complexity are gonna do Tiny Wisp mid. I've never seen Swindle Melons in lane different than mid.
Yeah.
And I don't think Swindle plays Tiny.
10 seconds remaining.
Gonna be some surprises one way or another. Cloud9 thinking long and hard about their 4th now.
Reserve time.
Offlaners wise, obviously they can still run like the whole Bristleback or something mid. Offlaners most valuable against Tiny Wisp.
There's a TA coming out of Cloud9, so that's what they felt they needed. I think they're working under the assumption that that's a Tiny Wisp mid. Again, TA Tiny versus Tiny Wisp is not a counter. You can still die, but Refraction always makes you feel safe to an extent. So
and then
we'll just have to see how it goes.
You have the Winter Wyvern, who's very likely to be able.
Yeah, if he sits at the back, like if he sits behind them. The problem though then is like their safe lane is going to be really weak, right? Because they have this bounty hunter that's presumably going to walk around. Because if they do a 3-position bounty, I'd honestly just rule them out. Like 3 bounty is just not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, assuming that's what happens where he walks around. If Wyvern stays around mid too, then this 5-position Wyvern not only is going to be really starved unless he like does some really good counter initiations with the bounty and gets a lot of kills, which is kind of unlikely, and you don't really want to rely on that. But more importantly, it's their safe lane. Like it's gonna be super weak. What do they have? They have an Ember Spirit, right? He needs to babysit. If he doesn't get babysat, I don't know what this hero is gonna accomplish in the safe lane.
Undying the ban from Complex. I could see that because I feel like Cloud9 once again are in this situation where You just need that connector hero. You know, because you've got an Ember Spirit and a Templar Assassin, Bounty Hunter and Winter Wyvern, like I'm seeing team fight, I'm seeing mid-game, late game, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot of early game pressure unless the Ember Spirit does real well.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of questionable against Spirit Breaker.
In my head, the Cloud9's last pick it's got to be like a Shaker offlane. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't see another option than Shaker here. Maybe Clockwork, but again, like Clockwork is just so half and half in this kind of game. Like, and Tiny can always toss the Clockwork away. There's Spirit Breaker to worry about. I mean, Clock can counter initiate on Spirit Breaker for sure, but not sure if it's gonna be enough for them. Earthshaker though can scale to damage to like the late game, no problem with Enchant Totem with items. Not sure if Clock will get the same thing this game.
Yeah, I feel like Undying was kind of like the ultra aggro hero that would have worked for them. And you're right. You're exactly right. They are not going to be running the Tiny Wisp mid. You have a Dragonite mid now that's going to be faced up against the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a little bit wary of this though. I had a feeling Swindle wanted to do this kind of 5-man thing. It's really cool style to kind of these type of heroes where they do have some 5-man presence in the mid game.
Yeah, that's
but
their
DK,
biggest strength, right? Is their team fight.
Yeah. They just mesh well. As North Americans, they kind of try to play like the Chinese, and it's honestly they're like one of the few teams that can do it. But Ancient Apparition, okay, that's the hero. Again, really greedy coming out of their lineup, and that is a three position bounty hunter. The A is actually a pretty good counter to this lineup. I mean, it's good against the IO. It's semi-good against the Tiny, because Tiny IO, the combo works off each other where they heal each other. And of course, it's a great hero against Dazzle overall. But honestly, Cap, I'm doubtful, man. This is an offlane bounty hunter yet again. It's not going to have damage. If the TA does not have an easy time in the mid lane, just like last game, where if the SF didn't get a free lane kind of thing against the TA, their lanes are going to be crutched to the point where like they look at their lineup. Like before level 6, none of their heroes can do anything, and their tower pressure, man, between all these low range mid heroes type of thing, like melee heroes type of thing, can they get a tower this game? I don't know.
I was looking at it going like, all right, you're gonna have to get something like ultra aggressive. I was with you. I was like, okay, like I thought the Undying ban made a lot of sense. I was like, Earthshaker would be the next good pickup solely because he could at least rotate pre-level 6 potentially. But Bounty Hunter, I mean, I've seen the off-lane Bounty Hunter not too long ago. I think.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I'd be genuinely super surprised if this works. I mean, this is just like one of those things where they pick the hero and they kind of like did like a last moment swap up on it. I feel.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This just doesn't like strategically. I don't know what it does. It's a hero that wants to not show on the map, which is why 4 position is perfect on it, because you don't really know what a 4 is doing most of the time. They could be stacking, they could be ganking, smoking. 3 position bounty hunter, you know they're gonna get levels, and that's great. But unless the enemy is like a tree or something, which is how EG did it against CDEC and lost. The enemy is gonna have purpose with their heroes. These heroes on coL, they don't mind. They don't mind not being able to pressure a bounty on the safe lane because they scale better anyway. Bounty hunter on 3 does not scale, man. Again, though, it really is the mid matchup. Like Dragon Knight against TA, that's a pretty hard matchup for Dragon Knight in my head.
Do you think the damage reduction helps at all?
Honestly, man, it's not really. It's mainly because DK can't harass the TA.
Yeah.
Like, it just simply is that. Like with Refraction, she's gonna ignore the Breathe Fire, and she's gonna get CS. And most importantly, TA has Side Blades. She can cleave. So any hero that cannot harass a TA will be beat very easily.
Yeah. So
and I feel like DK is one of them.
Should have a pretty big CS advantage, and then you're going into like level 6. Maybe you have some sort of kill potential with someone else, but even then, it's a real tough call. And Cloud9 are very likely, I think, to rotate over and put maybe a little bit of pressure on that middle lane at some point in time, though. They're running a dual lane, Dazzle and Spirit Breaker. I like this idea, just to make sure the Spirit Breaker can move forward and get some of that experience, because you are dealing with a heavy amount of right-click power. This is going to be cold touch matched up with a Winter Wyvern. Every single right-click dishing out so much damage from that hero.
Yeah, the problem though is that that's all they're limited to. Yep. It's not like the carry is a PL that can follow up with a Lance or just get on top of them. It's an Ember Spirit, so he has to be relatively close. I don't know. I actually see all the lanes going in coL's favor here, even though C9 will get their levels. Again, I feel like I favor coL in the overall game regardless, if they just exchange levels. And honestly, at the mid lane, Swindle's not doing too bad.
Yeah,
he's pressuring the TA a lot.
Getting a lot of right clicks on Brax. But health potion
yeah.
comes out now. He's got the refraction going. He knows that the health potion can't be stopped, and he's getting a lot of that side blade damage on his Swindle.
Yeah, look at this. He can't do anything against these side blades. Look at this. He just takes 100 damage a hit. Side blades ignore the armor if he attacks the creep with it before. So, yeah, honestly, just a tough matchup for DK. And again, every matchup for DK is kind of tough if you think about it.
Yeah.
Then DK just gets 6, and then it changes.
Charge comes out. MJW, though, doesn't actually have the bash, and he's slowed down so much that Chilling Touch is dealing a lot of damage. Then again,
traded life points for the creep wave.
Yeah.
It's worth. He has a self.
They bring it back, and now there's 30 seconds until there's any offensive power out of the Cloud9 support.
Exactly.
So.
Oh, SVG's gonna get the rune though, so this is nice timing for him.
Stags that one, gets level 2 off of it.
This is the other thing for mids now too. Like, look at this DK. He's walking at 290 MS. He couldn't contest the TA in the lane at all. Now Brax basically had a free lane for like 30 seconds, where he can control the wave very easily because he has high amounts of damage. And yeah, he's got his bottle now too. So again, all's well for the TA so far.
Not really doing much with that invis. Just a source of regen. Gets a couple CS.
Denied.
Did they just leave the Dragon Knight to this sort of fate? Like your only real ganking potential at level 6, right? If the Dragon Knight has that ult, then you can probably rotate a support and maybe get the ult, but then...
even then though, on TA specifically is hard, so it'd be like a DK rotation, but now the main thing for DK at mid always is the tower. And against TA, you can get the tower. It's just, depending on traps and rotations, it might be a little bit scary.
Like TA more likely than many others, right, would just be able to sit there in that middle lane and contest you constantly.
Charge command on the TA.
JW just trying to get away from that heavy amount of right-click damage from all that Chilling Touch and Arctic Burn.
Yep. This on the safe lane, high CS, and Zfrix got level 2, almost cracking level 3, where I assume he's gonna start leveling his spirits. So safe lane's pretty much guaranteed for them, and yeah, Bounty Hunter is just looking for a courier snipe or something. It requires 2 hits when it's spurted. No, he's not gonna go for it anymore. Straight up.
Just gonna sit on the rune. Bottom
this is the problem.
Covered by Complex, so they're trying to open it up for the Dragon Knight, I think.
Oh, the supports.
Yeah.
Oh, the bash.
They're not careful. 17%.
2 bashes.
Twice in a row. Now a charge. They're going to be able to go on to SVG with a little bit more. He's got the Cold Embrace, levels it up to be able to heal himself. But now Swinamons comes in. We'll be able to get the Breathe Fire.
Oh!
Just a 17. Just taunting Winter Wyvern at this point in time.
Yeah, that is just too easy. My goodness. Spirit Breaker.
Yep.
What a hero.
And now MSS, he's wasted even more time as his rotation trying to catch out the courier again. Ends up missing the mark.
Honestly, man, I'm looking forward to the balance patches. Anybody else, of course, but I wonder. Oh, hold on, though. He's getting gone on.
Yeah, MJW charge actually just bumps into Ritsu. Ritsu trying to run him down, but won't be able to. The TP comes out from the Wisp, canceled though, as the threat is enough to be able to push back Cloud9.
Yeah. And he'll stay in the lane for the lane EXP here too, and he's gonna get level 4 out of it, so that's pretty good. But yeah, going back to that. Yeah, just going back to it. I mean, how do you nerf a hero like Spirit Breaker, Cap? I don't know.
Probably tamper with his his starting stats a little bit. I mean, the fact that he's the tankiest hero in the game, right? Or
yeah, pretty much. I guess so. Honestly, the thing is, it's like a trait of the hero. You know what I mean? Like it's just been there for so long. I'm not sure if the Frog is willing to tamper with it. Mm-hmm. But you definitely can't nerf the 17%. Maybe you can nerf the damage. Maybe you can make it a pseudo chance. But I just don't know. I'm curious.
If 17 turns into 15. Nice round number.
I mean, over there in that battle just now at bottom, that was more than 50%. But
yeah, it certainly was.
That's life, you know. That's how Spirit Breaker works.
MSS just searching for that level 6, just picking up the experience in the top lane, but obviously not threatening the Tiny. This is a free farming Tiny. He's 51 and 11 right now. The Wisp is just stacking.
Yeah, holy crap, he's got so much CS.
Yeah,
oh, he farmed the stacks too, eh? Wow.
Missed stack
Yeah, 51 CS, 52 CS at 6 minutes. This is super farmed.
MSS, he's just taunted D-Freak a little bit. In fact, they were going for the kill, but Brax actually misses uphill. And that Melt Strike plus the Tether and Dragon Tail stun makes sure that he does get out.
To be fair, there was no follow-up after that anyway.
Yeah,
and the Wisp would have just healed it with the bottles. And then Dazzle's presence at mid too, so... Dwindle 6 now. This is what he really wanted. Of course, TA has that double advantage. He has 16 denies as well. Just what you would expect of that matchup. 20 CS for the DK, 45 for the TA. It's not an easy matchup for DK, simply put.
Yeah. How's Ritsu doing? He's 37 and oh Jesus. His CS is not great. I mean,
yeah, it's sort of hurting.
Yeah.
Again, it's the lane, right? Like,
Yeah.
just the fact that they can't kill their offlaners means that the offlaners can do a lot more than what the traditional solo offlane can do. This is the meta, just putting 2 heroes down there to screw the enemy safe lane. Because, hey, they're investing 3 heroes, we're investing 2. We're getting more on our safe lane. Complete free farm Tiny, man. 62 CS versus 39. Even with jungle creeps, you can tell the Tiny's a lot more fun.
Yeah, and they're gonna probably pick up. Well, actually, this is level 4, soon to be level 5, but yeah, the relocate starts coming into play. It's gonna be real tough for them to actually get. Oh, MJW!
Oh, Mikey J. White.
Nice TP out.
He realized he charged in a little bit too deep before he cancelled it. So, good awareness by him. I do think Swindle could have actually helped with the Dragon form, but it doesn't really hurt him to TP because he can just charge away and get to his lane as soon as possible.
MSS. Just always kind of shadowing Z-Freak as much as possible. And Spirit Breaker comes right back to the bottom lane to collect his much-needed experience. Middle lane, 31 and 2 compared to the 54 and 18. A very gigantic CS gap between the two, but that's kind of what we're expecting. Dragonite is surviving in the lane. He has his level 7 now, so if the Templar Assassin ever rotates, you'll see him try and push down that tower. But we were talking about earlier, TA is probably one of the more farmy mids, and is pretty content with just.
This was a really nice push by C9. The fact that they got the tower as the daylight came on, which just means that they can secure their own woods with it. But more importantly, at the tier 2, there's always going to be a complexity hero farming it, so they can really start pressuring the safe lane, because they have to. This Tiny has been getting unadulterated farm for 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes straight. He's actually going to be too much of a problem if they don't kill him anytime soon.
Yeah. Has he backed up Ancients at all? Is that how he's gotten a little bit more CS than I expected, or is he just missing? Oh, they're actually going to go a little bit of stun. This is just a small amount of pressure. There's no way that they think they're killing Brax here in this situation.
Yeah, she's got 11 stick charges. She's not going to die on this. There's like 4 heroes on top of her right now.
Yeah, so they just pressure the tower a bit. Try and push him back.
Yep, getting good damage. He'll breathe fire this wave down. And they'll hit the tower some more. Again, they need to.
And Tiny is 10xing his lane. So ridiculous. So, do you think in this sort of situation, you're really far ahead? You also have some pretty mobile heroes, like the Ember Spirit, like the Templar Assassin. Templar very likely to go for Blink. Do you think you should go and consider an early Blink dagger for Tiny and try and play that, you know, that a very aggressive style that we've seen from some Tinies, or do you agree with his stat choice and presuming Aghanim's next?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a direct preference of like sitting around specific players or positions.
What? This is an interesting play. They
relocated
the
for the
first
stack.
relocate to be able to take away the stack. Z-Freak, though, is going to be caught as Ritsu actually had a remnant right on top of that. And now Ziz is left without any escape. Fortunately, he does have the backup of MJW and Wade too, but they need some help. This is really the strength of the Templar Assassin at this point in time. Will be able to run down Ziz eventually here. TP out. Is there a stun? Sure. Can he be able to stop him? Bounces over to MJW as well. 2 kills. A third with the Wisp involved, and now maybe a fourth as Ritsu is going to run down Wade 2, catches him as well. A 4th kill, and I believe a 2nd track kill. That stealing a 2-2 stack was definitely not worth it.
Yeah, that's what you call a 3-2-2 right there, honestly. That was a throw, straight up. I don't know what to say about that one. They had no vision going in. I mean, that was just... Yeah, I don't know about that one. Not just in hindsight either, just... Oh, Brax getting stunned up here. He has refraction up, so he'll be able to survive, I think, but...
He'll be okay. Swindle doesn't actually have breathe fire yet, so...
Yeah, that was pretty big, man. That's 3 track kills, I think. Completely unnecessary for them. They weren't in a losing position at all, and...
No?
I know DK hasn't taken a tower by 11 minutes, so it kind of sucks for him, but it's only like a matter of time type of thing.
Is under attack.
So yeah, the way they gave up those kills for that stack just allows Cloud9 to do a lot more now than they should have been able to.
Yeah, they jumped up 3,000 in net worth, and now the Tiny is no longer the
Middle tower
unpropagated
denied.
leaderboard. 4-1, 12 minutes in. MJW is getting level 7 plus an earn.
Yeah, I think coL's still fine. Again, their gameplay really revolves around the DK and the Tiny, as most teams revolve around their first and second position. But it's kind of... It's not unique, but it's more reliant on them for sure, because with the Wisp, Tiny's look to make plays, and I did want to mention it before the relocate happened, but Tiny bought drums. When you have a Wisp, it's always nice to build incremental items for sure, because it just gets you that much stronger in the early game. But with his amount of farm, I really feel like he should have just gone straight Blink or Axe.
Yeah.
And had a much bigger impact that way.
I could definitely see that. Early Blink Dagger, I think, would have been so valuable versus the Ember Spirit. Like, if
Yeah,
they get
look at
that
these
first
heroes,
early
right?
rotation.
Is under attack.
Look at this Ancient Apparition, 606 HP. Oh man, if he was on top of him, he was dead. But
Charge
looks
is
like he
coming
doesn't
out.
make
He's
it.
going to turn around, get off the Ice Blast just before he dies. He knows he's dead. He's just hoping to get as much damage out as possible. MSS is going to sneak in through the side here, but can't really threaten anybody. They do have
Yeah.
Winter White. Man, after that fight, full supports level 7.
Yeah, man, that was really big. They gave up so much in that woods, man. I don't know.
Here I was like, oh, maybe that's not too bad when I see the Wisp is level 8, and then I look up, wait, 2. Level 4. He's,
Well, looks like coL's still gonna get the tower.
oh, the relocate
Either
to bottom lane. They're actually going to take away from that top lane fight in order to go for Brax, and they will dunk him completely. But now the response, Ember Spirit, Ice Blast, is going to be able to just doesn't catch anything. And they MJW, but that's it. They get the relocate out back up to top lane. MJW is trying to escape. Way 2 is going to be caught by Ritsu. So they'll get the kill on that support, but track kill makes it a little bit better, but it's still the fact they gave up the Templar Assassin is...
Yeah. The TA step is really big there. Also, it was a nice relocate coming out of them. I'm not sure if they should have... well, they had to commit for the TA for sure. But, it was kind of awkward because they could have also had this trade where they just dived the Winter Wyvern. Although I'm not too sure if they have vision for it, so I guess I can understand. But theoretically, if they dove the Winter Wyvern, killed him, and took the tower, it would have been a better trade for them overall.
Yeah.
Because the TA, the way they kill her now is the way they kill her like throughout the rest of the game. Because you know she's not going BKB first item, so it's always viable to kill her with a combo for the next 10 minutes or so. And it's all about the map control, really. They got the tower denied at top, so that's less gold for them overall, and they gave up a track kill in the end.
Yeah, they also had that middle tower denied as well earlier. So, and this is usually a lineup. You look at, Tiny, Dragonite. These are pushing heroes that kind of, depend on that tower gold. And
Yeah, and I'm sure it's equalized to an extent now. But Cap, the Tiny actually just picked up a Blink. I think he's thinking about that too, where he just looks at those heroes and say, man, they're all like sub 1k HP heroes, and wait, he's about to die here.
Yeah, it wasn't really... I was watching
think
him,
it
I
was
was
just
like,
the-
okay, the aggressive board, that's kind of interesting, but you're really cutting close there to Brax, and sure enough, he
Yeah,
took
I don't
the
know.
spot.
That was... He definitely gave up a kill that wasn't needed, and the ward's gonna get denied right away, so... Walking in the creep wave is generally a no-no, and I guess he felt comfortable. But... Oh, nice
charge,
reaction.
Relocate was committed as well. Great jump away from Ritsu.
Attack.
They're going to try and commit to this tower, though, with the push, but there's a glyph to be able to keep them at bay. And now Cloud9 start responding. It's going to be slowed down. Z-Freak will relocate him back. The rest of the team did get out successfully.
Yeah, that was actually a super good reaction coming out of Ritsu. Yeah, just overall very good. Forced their heroes down, wasted spells. Now they can actually push, and it looks like it's exactly what they're gonna do. Unfortunately for them, it's not the mid-tier one, which is very important for Roshan, just as important as the bottom one.
Yeah.
But they're getting something out of it after a really good move, really good transition. And he still has Blink though, and I'm not sure if they're aware of it.
Dire's structures.
Some heroes are about to die.
MJW gets slowed down. SVG catches up, has his ultimate ready to go, but it's not necessary. The Ice Blast doesn't hit, but get the kill nonetheless. And the Tier 2 tower will be claimed in the process. So that Desolator TA doing its work. Top lane, the Tier 2 tower does get pushed down to half HP, but Not nearly the same. Ziz also pushes that middle tower down to half HP. Oh no! The Winter's Curse actually placed on the illusion. This does stall up Ziz. Meanwhile, Z-Freak's trying to get away from MSS, but they're going to turn on MSS, quickly dunk him, and now Z-Freak's ready to go with the heals. We'll start healing up Ziz. Ritsu's trying to catch up. Is actually ready to challenge if
necessary. They have Blink on Tiny.
Blink forward, catching the Winter Wyvern. Blink forward by Swinamons as well. They won't have the opportunity to burst SVG just yet. Wait for the Cold Embrace. And now the news come in. MJW catching up. Ritsu, does he have a remnant away? Other than this one, will be caught by... Oh, 17% toss up in the air. He doesn't get out.
Oh, boy.
Now he goes down, and things turn pretty dramatically against Cloud9 as Complexity find one opening.
Oh, man.
More and more.
Yeah, TA just trapped into the Ancients, thinking maybe she can sneak a quick one. There's an illusion of the IO there, and she saw it with the trap. It would have been a really big deal if she could sneak in the Aegis there, because then they can fight again. Yeah. Now, they're on a huge deficit with those fights. They just lost out pretty big.
Charge down out, bottom lane. Brax, who's in such a great position. He's going to run into Swinamons here, but they saw each other. And the dust reveals Brax is dead.
Yeah. Again, it's that Roshan, man. If there was no illusion there and he could have snuck it, this game would actually just look different right now.
Yeah.
That was... I mean, honestly, that's a lot on Z-Freak there, just to have an illusion sitting there. Not a lot of players will do that. I mean, at this stage in the game, you definitely have to always be wary about the potential Templar. But that, like, during that team fight, I think a lot of players would have just preferred some jungle vision or something. Yeah. Really, really lucky illusion rune sitting there in the pit.
Catch mid lane, Wade 2. Sitting on the front lines here. Doesn't actually have lead, prioritizing Shalograve first,
he's
which
super
I can't
low
say
too.
No to. They're gonna have the counterward sitting there, so SVG is gonna be caught.
That global presence kicking in again.
Yeah.
Very hard to deal with. You can try to TP, but if you don't see the SB fast enough, you can't TP, and then if the relocate comes in, what do you do to the combo? You're just gonna die.
Charge coming out on Ritsu, but the Tiny's already backed up. Lays out a defensive remnant. They're gonna wait for the next charge on Spirit Breaker up in
3k gold on the Tiny. Breaking 10k net worth at 19 minutes, just above the standard for a good farm
the Ice Blast! It caught him. Way too. Shallograve's gonna go down just slightly before the Ice Blast. They will be able to get that one kill. The counter kill, though, is on the Ancient Apparition. Can they go more, though? Desolator's pretty threatening, but Brax has now been caught, burned through the refraction, stunned up by Swinamons, who managed to blink himself in, and Brax, he will get done. No! Winter's Curse actually saved things around. Now Ritsu comes in big. He's already taken out one. Swinamons is low as well. He's gonna go down. This is just waiting for a combination, but is not really able to do anything. Now he's gonna be caught. Oh, Cloud9, things go from bad to worse to all of a sudden fantastic. They pick up a triple kill for Ritsu off of SVG's beautiful Winter's Curse.
Yeah, that was about as massive of a curse as you're gonna get, man. Just, if that curse didn't come through at the precise time it did and Brax ended up dying somehow, that fight would have been super messy even if they came in after. I know Brax didn't do that much damage towards the end. He came in just for the EXP at the end of it all, but yeah, could have been dirty, and now he has a double damage rune. Yeah. Not gonna look to Roche because it's not really safe to do so. Complexity shields are coming up, and tier 2 mid allows them to transition quickly with a teleport. But they have that security in mind that they just got back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you had continued to keep, like, I can see where you're going. If Brax had actually died there, yes, the team fight would have been amazing, etc., for C9, and Ember Spirit would have had lots of gold, but it's still an Ember Spirit. Brax would have been left with no gold to work towards that BKB, and that just means that the combination of the Tiny is still so powerful against him.
Actually, now that you mention it, you're right, he is being forced into a BKB. Then again, though, BKB it's like a necessity more than how amazing it is this game. Like, if he can't get in there with a blink, he's gonna trail the Ember, you know? It's not gonna be the best. But he needs it. He definitely needs it, so I can understand him. Oh, you know what, never mind, he goes straight for the blink. Yeah. I mean, that's fine, too. Like, right now, with the refraction, how it works, MSS actually just died. Yeah, he was way in the enemy lines.
It was the ward counter ward that spotted him out, and then Spirit Breaker
I see.
was close by and threw out the blind dust.
Yeah. But yeah, to be concise, I support the blink. Good.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw that Ogre Club, but
Swindles, what is he going for here? He's trailing on farm. I don't want to say he's kept up, but he's not too behind considering his early game. And Glimmer Cape coming out of SVG here.
oh, he wants to be able to get a Winter's Curse on Z-Freak. Already slowing him down. The tether will get him out at the right time. They're going to Remnant and try and catch him still. Z-Freak, oh, nice! Ritsu! Long range, sleight of fist chains combination catches the Wisp despite the tether TP attempt.
This is where it starts getting scary for coL. Again, they had this early advantage, and with that 4-man wipe, you know, the lead is gone. And as aforementioned, you know, the C9 lineup really excels from level 6. And with the early game track kills that they got, the level 6s came in quicker along with the items. And now they're looking pretty strong, at least in terms of team fight. Their push, not as strong as it could be, but their team fight is certainly very respectable.
The Melons.
Radiant's bottom tower.
He could go for a jump here, but there's a trap sitting right next to him. So he will not. Ritsu had the right idea, too. But
I'm honestly,
too slow.
I'm genuinely concerned for Swindles here. He's gonna start losing purpose in his game. Like this Dragon Knight hero, you have to be ahead in net worth, and it's very hard to maintain it most of the time. So you settle with being even just by getting kills and pickoffs. He's 2-1-2, he's not doing too bad. His CS 113 it doesn't always look good for a mid laner to be at around the 100 at 20-minute mark, but it's a DK against TA, what are you gonna do? Just more importantly, I'm not sure if he's gonna have that presence anymore. He's slowly missing his timing. They have to do something now.
Yeah, they really need to catch a big team fight and him to be able to survive through that.
Yeah, it looks like it's here. Yeah, they're gonna try to here.
They're gonna run an MSS. The Ice Blast only just barely touches Winnemons. Gonna try and go for this fight. Ritsu on the side. Swinnemon's gonna be able to see him. Dragon Tail does go off with his team. Immediately responding on his Swinnemons. They get the Winter's Curse. Shallow Grave, though, saves Swindle some time, but he will go down eventually. Ritsu is gonna be caught here. Turn around. Swinnemon gets a little bit more damage, but Ritsu jumps himself out to the Remnant. Z-Freak, the target by Brax, does manage to pick up that kill and blinks himself to the side. Glimmer Cape also saving him, and now that Sideblade damage bouncing over to Ziz off of MJW is gonna allow them to be able to get the Spirit Breaker and the Tinians. He's gonna be caught way too just attempting a TP out. Shuriken not in time. Ziz unable to get a single kill out of that. That's the Battle Fury. Brax lives through the whole entire engagement, and Complexity. I mean, things look so good for them just not too long ago.
Catman, beginning of the end, honestly. Look at this Winter Wyvern. He's got 3k in his bank almost. He's gonna have the next big item, and I'm not sure who's their Solar Crest builder, but if MSS goes to Guardian Greaves and he goes to Solar Crest, no, he's actually just gonna go Blink for a better position on his ultimate. Not like he has to have any problems with it so far, but yeah, this is honestly, that was the beginning of the end. Like, look at coL's lineup. At this point, they had so much early game pressure and global presence. Now they just don't have enough damage between the Dazzle and Wisp and Dragon Knight. Look what that hero did that fight. He stunned the target, and I mean, of course he got collapsed on by 5 heroes. But what can the hero really do without Blink, BKB, and like an entire item advantage against that kind of lineup? Really just loses purpose.
Do you think he should have been building BKB after the after the Blink?
I mean, it's tough, right? It's like one of those games where he needs the BKB, but he also needs another item and or two. So I don't know what's actually a good item this game.
Yeah,
I really don't. Maybe Heaven's Halberd is what he had in mind. Maybe SNY, but no matter what it is, at this point, it's not enough.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. If you go the Blink Dagger into the BKB, like, you're just never gonna have enough damage.
Yeah, you just have to fight, and if you lose the fight, you're done. And right now they're losing fights anyway, so it's like, what do you do?
It's really just our Dragon Knight stuck in a tough position, as we do have the Ember Spirit and Templar Assassin now, both ahead of the Tiny by a slight margin, but it's still enough. Middle lane, they're going to jump in on MJW, charges his way in, kind of stalls things up, but this will be him running forward into another track kill.
Yeah, in hindsight, it would have been better if he just sat there and died, for the track. Now he just gave up more gold.
Now,
that's Dota for you.
Or Cloud.
Roshan. Brax has BKB finished. And yeah, they're gonna push the tier 2 with it, and they might be able to high ground. Honestly, I think coL, they might try to rely on a high ground defense, but they don't have that late game potential in just the Tiny anymore. With the DK, they could have definitely scaled, but DK doesn't have enough farm to fight at this point. And I think what they have to do is they have to go for a smoke play outside their base. Swindles definitely cannot get caught here. Ooh, I think, yeah, okay, Ember doesn't have Aegis. If Ember had Aegis, I think he would have jumped for that, and Swindle might have died.
Alright. Complexity, they need some dramatic team fights. The only way to put it. They're looking for some sort of engagement in the top lane, but they're not going to be able to met with anything at all. Our Ember Spirit
honestly,
already has Crystallis.
Cap, I think, like, I don't think I've seen TA lose in, like, the last week of Dota that I watched, honestly. I don't know. I don't know how to beat the hero. It's so good right now.
Yeah, the Blink Dagger change meant a lot for
Yeah, so many quality of life changes. Roshan, being able to kill Ancients at level 7. Like, come on, this hero's insane.
Yeah, Desolator, cheap damage.
Yeah, like Desolator too, right? They nerfed the item, buffed the item, nerfed the item. Now it sits at plus 50 damage and minus 7 armor. It's like 3,500 gold. It's so efficient. Hero's just crazy, man.
Gonna have an AC in the next few minutes if Ziz can continue to farm at this rate, but
yeah, I think that's their fight. That's their power spike. Okay, Swindles has decided to opt for the Shadow Blade, so he's gonna go Silver Edge with this.
Does that actually have any? Doesn't have any value, right? The break. The damage production is still really good.
Yeah. A lot of people forget that about the Silver Edge, which is what's, I guess, it kind of definitely helps. I don't know though. There's so much sources of damage on C9 at this point in the game that if coL, they don't just grave a target and go for a wipe with the Tiny, they're definitely not gonna have a chance. Offlane Bounty Hunter, it's winning, dude. At this rate, it's certainly gonna win.
Yeah. All the utility items are flown in for him. Mech, Glimmer Cape. I guess he's the one
does the trap see them?
Next.
Well, they're gonna spot out the Wisp here.
Yeah, Wisp TP's out, same goes with Ziz. They'll both get away.
You know what? That was pretty blind of them. They actually had no vision. That was absolutely perfect. That was really, really good timing for Complexity. Forced all the heroes down there.
Yeah.
They're gonna be able to push out the top lane with DK, so he's getting some farm. They have a ward at top to scout out where the Ember was, so they're gonna feel comfortable in their woods. That was actually really good. They need more of those. I mean, it's not a flashy play with kills and stuff like that, but what it is a positioning advantage.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Ags on AA. I don't know, man. The bounty on the track, Midas, you had to expect it at some point, right?
Yeah. So Ags at 29 minutes on Ancient Apparition. Level 2 ultimate as well. Guardian Greaves finished up for the Bounty Hunter. We are going to have Ritsu building into Scotty rather than finishing up his Desolator. Or is this a Lincoln's to be able to stop the Dragon Tip? Pretty much the primary stun that really threatens him. The other one is also single target, which would be the
if he has, the ultimate orb, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a Lincoln's. He realizes his team actually has enough damage now. TA alone is just such a force. Winter Wyvern does massive teamfight damage. AA Blast, if it connects on 2 people, they're dead for sure with the Aghanims.
Yeah.
All he has to do is just Sleight of Fist spam from the back lines, and well, the other thing is split pushing with the Lincolns. Going back to it, actually, yeah, they picked the split pushing hero for Ritsu too.
Yeah, Ziz gonna be popped. This Ice Blast comes in, but yeah, relocate him back. He's still gonna die.
Yep, AA, man. It's the counter to Wisp Dazzler, it really is. A lot of people think because AA's early game is weak, which is not entirely true, of course, because chilling with touch is good. Oh, but Ember Spirit.
Yeah, they might be able to get the pick off on Ember Spirit. That's a big start for them defending. Ziz did go for the buyback, but they need a lot more kills. He whiffs the Avalanche, but Swindle comes forward. We'll be able to get the stun charge right through both of them. If they can get both supports, that'll definitely help. But Brax actually comes in from the side, immediately takes out Z-Freak. Winter Wyvern survives, and he will be able to slow down everyone. Brax is just mowing through these heroes with MSS as well as the other support sitting on the side. Way too, almost dropping there. Shalgrave gets laid down, charge onto Brax now as Swindle tries to address him, stuns him up, but all these heroes from Complexity are just way too low, and as they're forced back into their base by pretty much Brax solo, because he's got BKB and Aegis, they don't want to challenge him at all. Oh, is he going to be dropping here? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, still has a... Oh, you know what? The Aegis just expired. And
Oh.
Yeah, it just expired, and he didn't get the healing because of the DK still damaging him. So that kind of sucks, but
NJW.
he still didn't die, he didn't commit a BKB charge, and now there's more kills at the middle.
Yeah, they're gonna go for MSS here. Glimmer Cape. They don't have vision. Oh, no, they do. They have a gem. MSS misses Avalanche, though. Relocate in from the side. They see him. They'll catch MSS. So they finally
They're bringing it back.
Finally get something out of that. Ritsu's going to be spotted out here on the side. Oh, if they can get this. The stun up. Ziz, he's got an avalanche in a second. They're going to go for it. No, the Winter's Curse. SVG turns it around again. The charge comes back in, but there's just way too many heroes. Swindle, NJW, and Ziz, they are all dead.
Yeah, I think that's game. The Tiny just had to buy back for that, honestly, and his farm progression has been halted. You can see in the top 2 net worth, it's the Ember and TA. Not a circumstance I was imagining, but it certainly could happen with the Bounty Hunter at some point in the game. Man, this is really rough for coL. They had that, ever since that mid lane fight where they got 4-man wiped, and DK not accomplishing anything by being elsewhere. He didn't get a tower, he didn't push fast enough because of the hero. This is rough, man. TA is just a great hero too. I don't know, man.
Well, Cloud9 will push uphill. Complexity have no response. They have a buyback on Dragonite, but they would have to wait for the Tiny, so no sense in trying to...
They really played to their strengths this game, though. Just from collapsing on them and protecting their stack in the jungle. It wasn't even a big stack, but it was a relocating. They got picks for it. To getting all those track kills at middle and Ritsu playing aggressive, forcing the movement from the enemy and still remnanting out. Everything factored to the victory.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The impending victory, I should say. It's not over yet. Going in.
Alright. Bart comes out. Swindle. He's taking a lot of damage here from Brax. Needs some help. The Glimmer Cape's not really going to help him out too much. They will get the relocate back, but now MJW just transfer a target. Good shot, great, just in time to be able to save him. But way too, he's now on the wrong end of the sword as well. Ziz came forward, tried to catch anybody, but will miss the avalanche once again. They do get the relocate back in, but another beautiful Winter's Curse locking down Ziz, and that will actually finish Ziz up, it looks like.
Holy
the
smokes.
Ice Blast takes him down. And Swindle's low as well. T-Freak's dead. Swindle just turns around and fights where he can, but he knows he's done for, so GG. And Cloud9 even out the series 1-1 now, and that, I would have to say, I felt good for Complexity in the first, 8 minutes of that game. And then they tried to go for that stack, and it just turned real bad real quickly. I mean, that just...
Yeah, honestly, it's just...
cost them.
Yeah, it's just like, Cloud9 had a super greedy lineup. And it worked out for them because coL, they got wiped on 2 instances. It just I don't know. A lot of misplay by coL, I think. Some discipline coming out of Cloud9 as well, recognizing, capitalizing, and using the bounty hunter money to push their advantage.
Alright, so we have a game 3 on our hands, boys and girls. Take a short break, we'll be back soon.